Why? Because most of the time when we have just been through traumatic event, we develop some defensive mechanisms. Some of those defensive mechanisms don't allow you to relive your story and tell your story. This had a huge impact actually with the ICTR, which is the tribunal in Arusha, because they were tell survivors to come and testify, but obviously because of the defensive mechanisms, some of their memories will fail them. Therefore, they were taken as liars or not having the facts together. Because for us, during the genocide, the time, the day, the hours meant nothing. You were just moving from corner to corner trying to survive. So even for myself who is talking to you today, in 2011 I had a chance to meet Elie Wiesel in Washington, D.C. And he challenged me saying, Chantal, you need to tell your story. If you don't, somebody else will do it. And if they do it in the wrong way. When I tried to start writing my story in 2011, being a psychotherapist, I did not realize about my triggers until I ended up in the hospital with a panic attack. Why? Because I had to revisit that area of my hippocampus which had been closed off to protect me. So that's how difficult it is for us to tell our stories. In terms of creating some sensitivity to our younger generation and also try to create that, to instill that behavior of being memory keepers, I believe in Canada we have made a long way in a way that now genocide against Tutsi and the Holocaust are in the history class in the grade 11. And the curriculums are very well designed. I reviewed them, I know the history, especially in case of Rwanda, and the curriculum is very well designed. However, what the challenge is how the class is being delivered and the content, how it is delivered to the students. Because it's up to each and every teacher, their knowledge, their connection, their understanding, that's how they deliver the message. So my call today to the scholars who are here is to see how we can do, whether it's a retreat, whether it's include genocide in the teacher's curriculum, so they can get the real story and the real facts. Because most of them, they go through maybe Google, and when, as you know, somebody was talking about dehumanization, denial is the last stage of the genocide. So we have a lot of denials movements, which means that when you go on Google, you grab what you get. And anybody can go on Google and post whatever they want. So I will call the school boards, the scholars in the room, and all the activists to make sure that classes are not in vain. It's a great thing to include the classes on the genocide and the Holocaust, but it's important to safeguard the content of the history. So what I would say in terms of inclusivity and being sensitive about the whole thing, it's hard. It's very hard because for some people they fear it's way too far from home. Maybe it doesn't concern me, and that's a human nature. So we need to continue to do the work of sensibilization and also making sure that we involve people who have power, politicians, activists, and also media. Because it's very outraging for us as survivors of the recent genocide, which has been the heaviest machinery in the history, where we lost 1 million of Tutsis within 100 days. If you broke them down, the numbers down, we lost 10,000 of people each day and 7 people each minute among those 100 days. It was the heaviest machinery of human killing that have been documented in the history of humankind. So what I would say is that we need the genocide against Tutsis or any other genocide which happened. It's not an affairs of Tutsis or of Rwanda or of Jewish people. It's an affair of human rights. So we need all collaboratively to get together to say never again. Because at some point, when you look into the media, mainstream media, what you see is more of genocide deniers given the platform, more than genocide survivors. Even here in Canada, we invite the mainstream media to come to our commemoration. When we give the educative talks and platforms, they never show up because Rwanda is way too far away, and Rwandan people, it's a small portion because of many reasons. They have their own interest. However, one woman who just published a book, she calls herself a freelance journalist from Quebec, from Montreal. She just published a book where she's denying genocide against Tutsi publicly, and she even admitted that she wants to change the narrative, and she wants to change our history. That woman was given half an hour platform on CBC to tell us how genocide never happened and how it was actually the fault of Tutsis that they were killed. So all of that together, for us as survivors, there is nothing re-traumatizing like someone who looks you in the face and say, "You're lying. That never happened." Or it never happened the way you say it. Or it wasn't a million of people. It was only 800,000. Like, they argue about numbers, they argue about... So if we want to start by educating the new generation, we have to start by going against genocide deniers and their sympathizers. Only because at this point, it looks like in Canada we have great legislations about hate crimes, but we have no legislation, none, against genocide deniers. So that's the areas that we need to focus more. You can, yes, educate people, but if you don't go through legislation and changing from the top, people's minds would change, but they will follow what the narrative is for the authorities.